Hello and welcome to Season 2 of Says Who. Let me introduce my guest today. It's Tim Simek, who is an actor, director, producer, improv performer, and improv instructor. He is originally from Texas, and he is also the founder and director of the award-winning comedy improv troupe, SLO, Children at Play. The group just completed its 20th season of shows in North Hollywood. Hello and welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming in.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to start this the way I start everything, which is a question that actors are very used to getting. Tell me a little about yourself.
Oh yes, one of my faves. As the intro said, I'm from Texas, originally South Texas. Grew up on a farm. My dad grew cotton and grain, so I did all the good farm boy stuff, picking cotton and all that kind of stuff. Spent most of my years in Austin prior to coming to LA. I moved here in '96. I don't know. It's one of those questions where it's like, I don't know what else to say. I'm the youngest, the only boy of a family of 3. I have 2 older sisters, many cousins on both sides. Love cats. We have 3 cats. And I can do the jumble in the newspaper in usually less than 20 seconds.
Wow, now that's pretty impressive.
Yes.
So
in some cases, I guess somewhere it is. Yeah.
I think it's pretty impressive. So you grew up small town Texas.
Small town, about 1,500.
So when did the acting bug bite? Did the acting bug bite you?
It did.
When did that happen? Did that happen while you were in Texas, while you were in school?
Oh yeah, when I was a kid. I mean, I used to mimic stuff off TV. I did impressions. It was very early on, because both of my sisters are much older than me. So by the time I was 9, I was kind of an only child. They were both out of the house, going to college, and so I had to find some way to entertain myself, being 10 miles outside of the city. So all my friends were like way over there, and I was over here. So that's how I became an actor.
So you became an actor to entertain yourself,
Yes,
and then went, hey, I could entertain others.
Yes, I could do. Yeah. Here's my cats and dogs. I'll entertain them.
So was it something? Obviously, you started very young, but was it something that you kind of knew you were going to go into, or did you think it's a great hobby, but I'm gonna do something else?
Yeah, I didn't know that I was going to really go into it. It was one of those things I knew was a passion. Entertaining family during the holidays. Like, here, let me show you my magic tricks. Let me show you this kind of stuff. But it was a thing like it was fun to do. But I followed sort of the path of the family direction of, get a job during the summer and then go to college, get a job again. That was sort of my thing. So it was one of those things where it finally unfolded itself probably like 5 or 6 years after I went to college. And it was one of those things where, this is what I need to do.
Nice.
Yeah.
I find it interesting that you say this is what I need to do. I find that actors often, it's the passion. So even if they think they're going to get away with not being an actor, it sort of keeps calling to them until they
It does.
come to it.
Yes, absolutely.
So you were in Texas, and you said this is for me. I'm going to be an actor.
Yeah.
You started working in Austin?
As an actor, yes, I did. I was working for an insurance company full time and hated it. So it was one of those things where, and this is funny, my my ex-wife was in a play and I went and saw her. And I was dating someone already at the time, and she was doing the 7-year itch.
Oh.
And I can't describe what happened, but I saw her on stage and it's like, I want to be doing that. So I checked out some acting classes, found a really great actor mentor who I'm still friends with today. We still talk. Started taking classes with her, and she encouraged me to get some headshots and do one thing after another, and then here I am. That's how it started.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you're acting in Austin, and was it the move to Los Angeles, was that definitely motivated by acting work, or did you move to Los Angeles for other reasons?
It was for acting work. I'd reached a sort of a peak in Austin, and it was like, okay, I'm going to reach a certain level. And then my acting mentor, and I had some industry people, a couple of directors that were friends, said, you've got to go. It's time for you to go. And it was a hard decision, but I can still remember the time sitting in my apartment looking around and thinking, I better try it. Because I don't want to look back 20 years from now and say, I wished I had done that. Yeah.
Sure.
So it was really sort of the seed was planted and I had to do it.
Nice.
Yeah.
So obviously you got to LA, got out of your car and became famous.
Yeah. It was that fast. I stopped for gas and there I was.
There's us and I'm on TV.
Hey, I know you.
I find it's always a winding road, but was there ever a time in the progression once you got to LA where you thought, wow, maybe I should have stayed in Austin?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was the first 3 or 4 years.
Wow.
I was really moving back to Austin pretty much every year, at least 5 different times. And I knew coming out here I was going to have to start over. But the one thing I had was my agent in Austin had moved here 5 years before I did.
Nice.
So I had an agent when I first landed, which was kind of a good thing. She actually was repping Danny Trejo. She still reps him today. And so, it was one of those things where the quality of life was different here and, missed friends and family and stuff. I had a few friends here. So it was a shock to the system.
Sure.
So, once I finally settled in, I think it was when I finally started doing improv and started SCAP, that had me in a more grounded state, I think. So I knew, okay, I'll stay for a while. Yeah, I'll stick it out. I'll stick for a while.
So, tell me a little bit about what prompted you to start the Improv Company, So Children at Play.
It was just one of those things where I wanted to have an outlet and not wait for auditions. And so gathered some people together through a referral. We started meeting every Tuesday in my apartment near West Hollywood. So we would just get together for a couple hours every Tuesday, do some improv games, exercises, and we thought, okay, at some point maybe we'll rent a space and do a show. And then it sort of took a life of its own. That was in March of '98. We did our first show in my backyard in Sherman Oaks. I moved to Sherman Oaks from West Hollywood, and then we did a show late morning on a Sunday, October 25th of 1998. And then from there, we started kind of trying out different spaces, and then I started auditioning people, and then it became this thing that I sort of guided.
So I know that you, in the group.
Yes, of course.
So
yes, I recognize you. You look familiar.
So I know that you direct it, and obviously you're also the artistic director. But you, at some point, started teaching as well. Mm-hmm. Was that something you said, I really want to bring other people into this, or did somebody approach you?
I started teaching in Austin, actually, through my acting coach and mentor there is the one that actually got me into improv. She said, I think you should go audition for Comedy Sports. And I had, at that time, had no inkling that I was going to ever do it. And then I went through a 2-hour audition. I got in. And then after I started performing with them, she said, I think I'd like you to maybe come teach an improv class once a month in my studio. So, okay, I did. And so I started doing that. Then I branched off and I was starting to teach at Live Oak Theater, which is in Austin. And then an agent in San Antonio, I started teaching her classes for her people there. And then that was it. I just started teaching. And then I moved out here. I sent a proposal letter to Los Angeles Pierce College. And and I also taught at University of Texas through their extension program. So it was a timing thing here. They had just lost their improv instructor. We're looking for someone. So again, synchronicity hit. And then I started teaching February of '98.
Wow.
In Los Angeles Pierce. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what would you say, obviously sounds like you've been doing improv almost as long as you've been doing acting.
Yeah, but I'd say 30 years, yeah.
What do you think, how do those two combine, or do they influence each other?
They complemented each other very well. Yeah. The improv gave me the confidence level in auditions, but also too on set when directors would say, hey, let's go off script, let's improvise this stuff. And What's Eating Gilbert Grape was my first big speaking role. And a lot of my scenes in there with Leonardo DiCaprio were improvised.
Wow.
And Lasse Hallström, the director, kept everything we did.
Oh, that's awesome.
Which was
great.
Which was like wow, it was like incredible. So having the improv skill in my back pocket was a lifesaver for me. So and then it is vice versa in terms of doing shows, as you well know, we can incorporate our acting skills there too.
Definitely. Well, speaking of incorporating skills, we are ready to move on to the lightning round.
Okay. Pressure. Pressure.
All right. Well, Tim, welcome to the lightning round.
I'm excited.
What movie do you watch over and over?
Glengarry Glen Ross.
What is your favorite genre of film?
Wow, that's a tough one. I would say thriller.
What book are you reading right now?
Tina Fey's book, Bossy Pants.
What book do you want to read next?
It's a book about Tesla.
Binge watch or one show at a time?
Both.
What show are you watching right now?
Starting to watch The Kaminsky Method.
Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, or all of the above?
All of them.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Beer or wine?
Wine.
What is your favorite thing about yourself?
Sense of humor.
What is your least favorite thing about yourself?
Anal retentive at times.
Do you have a tattoo?
No.
If you had a tattoo, what would it be of?
Probably a cat.
What is the best gift you've ever received?
My wife.
What is the best gift you've ever given?
Wow. Oh, that's a tough one. Boy, God, I gotta think about this one. I think the best gift, if you can call it a gift, engagement ring to my wife.
Nice. What is your favorite board game?
Monopoly.
What country do you want to visit?
Spain.
What is the last country you visited?
Scotland.
What country would you like to go back to?
Scotland.
What is your favorite article of clothing?
Oh, hoodies.
Do you have a hobby?
I do.
And what is it?
I thought I could just go away by saying yes. Coin collecting. Oh, no, excuse me. Hobby is watch collecting.
What is the best way for you to de-stress?
Meditation.
What is something that would surprise people to know about you?
That I used to pick cotton.
Were you named after someone?
No.
Do you have a day job?
I freelance, yes.
And what do you freelance doing?
I sub-teach.
What makes you laugh no matter what?
My wife.
What life lesson do you wish everyone could learn?
Just to be happy and kind.
What advice would you give an actor who's just starting out?
Be patient and trust yourself.
What is the best piece of acting advice you've been given?
Play more.
What is the worst piece of acting advice you've ever been given?
I think the worst was don't screw up.
Who is your actor crush?
Paul Newman.
What actor would you like to grab a beer with?
Grab a beer with? Mm-hmm. Gene Hackman.
What's your favorite credit on your resume?
What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
What director would you like to work with?
I would love to work with Rob Reiner.
If someone wrote the perfect part for you, what would it be?
I think it would be someone that had gone through a lot of trials and tribulations, but then was able to take that and channel it into good for people.
What music or band are you listening to right now?
Daughtry.
What is your favorite genre of music?
Oh, God. Rock.
What's your secret talent?
Secret talent, I think I mentioned it earlier, was doing the jumble in the newspaper less than 20 seconds.
What does creativity mean to you?
It means freedom and expression.
What would you call your autobiography?
Who's that guy?
Okay, they are adapting Who's That Guy, the Tim Simek story. Would it be television or film?
Indie film.
And who would play you?
Oh, wow. That's a good one. George Lucas.
And on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you about life right now?
I would say a 9.5. Yeah.
Nice. Well, you'll be excited to hear we are done with the lightning round.
Wow.
And we are moving on.
Oh, awesome. Great.
So, Tim.
Yeah.
This is our last segment. This is the segment where I ask you the 10 questions that James Lipton asks at the end of Inside the Actors Studio.
Cool.
So, let me get my Lipton on.
All right.
Tim, what is your favorite word?
Propensity.
What is your least favorite word?
Regurgitation.
What turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
Laughter.
What turns you off?
Negative energy.
What is your favorite curse word?
Fuck nut.
What sound or noise do you love?
The very sweet sound of a kitten meowing.
What sound or noise do you hate?
A car horn honking excessively.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Being an attorney.
What profession would you not like to do?
A surgeon.
And finally, Tim, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Thanks for making me laugh.
Well, Tim, thanks for making me laugh. Thanks for coming out. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Great. This was fun.
Yay.